Hey traders, this is Ron. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys had a fantastic holiday weekend. As always, everything in this presentation is for educational purposes only. We'll start out here with daily charts, but we're also going to do some weekly charts. Take a look at some of the major indexes. We'll first kick off here with the S&P 500, and we can see that is lower left, upper right since last Christmas Eve. Zooming in, we did have a little bit of a down day Friday, but if I transition to a weekly chart of the S&P ETF, the spiders, we close near the highs of the week. So walking into December, the bulls are in complete control. Typically, the markets still do rise for another 2 weeks or so. Then they sort of go sideways a little bit. Then they re-energize once January gets here as well. So we're on the weeklies. If we go to a Dow weekly, the diamonds, sort of mid-range for the week, but we still closed at fresh new all-time highs on a weekly basis. If I go to a daily basis, you can see, yes, we were down on Friday up there in the upper right, but still we're above the 20-day EMA in red, which is a really nice short-term moving average. I love to use it for trailing stops. Then down here is the 50-day. That's the institutional moving average. We're well above both at this stage. Moving on to the Qs, QQQ, NASDAQ 100. This is the daily chart, and then we go to a weekly and look at there too. Upper end of the candle for the week still looks very, very strong. If we go back to the daily, I just want to show you the IWM, which is the Russell 2000. And if I zoom out here, this is what we talked about in last week's video. And by the way, I didn't have videos last week with the holidays, and we were doing a bunch of promotions and so forth. The markets didn't move that much. There was no need for them. This week, we'll probably do videos every night, unless, frankly, there's just nothing to really report. But the IWM did break out, like we highlighted, right back there. Well, since then, it's basically gone up just a little bit, maybe another $2, and now it's pulled back a little bit. But watch what happens when I go to a weekly chart. Look how on a weekly basis, now it looks way cleaner, right? Totally blew through there. Yeah, volume wasn't the best, but hey, it's a holiday week, so that counts as important. But now the target, even on the weekly basis, back up there in the low 170s, 171, 172. That's as much as 10 points higher than where we are. And if the Russell's coming along, your small cap's coming along for the ride, that could be the next log thrown on the fire for the bulls. So let's go back to a daily. Let's look at MDY, which are the S&P mid caps. If I zoom out, there was, again, I love saying this because these talking yo-yos on TV and so forth, world was going to end there, and the world was going to end here. We all know how this is playing out. Bulls just keep winning. We broke out back in the early part of November, but we really didn't get much going. And now we're getting up there. There's a little bit of a double top target, 373. So maybe, 6, 7 more points higher. It's not that large when compared to the IWM, which has a much, larger distance. And just to show you, here's the IWM. You can see now compare the two, right? The IWM high is all the way up there. So if we go back to MDY and then we go weekly, they too are looking strong. Now they closed probably just under halfway of their mid-range, but what's interesting is they did get up there last week, up into that 370, 372 area, and then some overhead supply came in. It's probably would help push it back down. But overall, you go SPY weekly or the majors, it's looking good. Bulls are in control. Now let's do GLD. Got some questions on gold. Gold continues to move lower here. I could draw some trend lines. You sort of get the idea. There's some chop back and forth, but it's still our high from beginning of September is holding, and we're getting lower highs and lower lows. Look at SLV, sort of the same thing. And then you go to the gold miners, same thing. These guys don't turn bullish until the end of December, beginning of January. All right, question on Apple. How's it looking? Apple's looking still really strong. It finished off the lows on Friday. It was down just a teeny bit. Looks like a whopping 33 cents. Still very, very strong. Where's the limit? I would keep an eye on Apple. Remember maybe a couple weeks ago I titled the video, Watch Apple for the Tell. If Apple ends up going into a correction, or let's just say this, it has a couple bad down days where it actually moves lower. I'm not talking about, a lousy $5, $6. I'm talking about big down day, break the 20-day EMA. That's going to be the first litmus test, the canary in the coal mine, that something might be wrong here with the broad market. So how Apple goes, pretty much the market goes, is my best guess. So below 20-day, then we would come down here, probably look to the 50-day. But right now, Apple looks really good. Take a look at Amazon. Amazon historically does well right after Black Friday. Right now, it's just caught in a bit of a range. I mean, Amazon would need to break out above, what is that, 1845-ish, and then it has a shot at the old gap fill up there. 1975 or so, and then back up to the highs. But right now it's still consolidating. And then you look at John Deere. John Deere earnings report, it gapped lower, closed lower on Friday. Right now, I'd probably say this is the big target. I know, 141, 20 bucks lower. Not saying it's going to get there, but that's the big swing low target. If I zoom in, I want to try to connect as many points as possible. I can connect a couple points here, tie it in with some lows, tie it in with a low here, but guess what? We're already below it, so that's gone. The next maybe swing low area, maybe 161, $7 more lower, $7 lower, but then that's when we start talking about down here. So John Deere is definitely bearish. If I go to a weekly chart of John Deere, it's still holding above the 20 period, but with this kind of volume picking up in the lower right hand of your screen, it's above average and closing at the lows of the day. It looks like there's going to be some selling pressure to continue on John Deere. So that's it. Nice short video. Again, happy holidays to you and your families now that we're into December. And I'll be back with you tomorrow. So have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you next time. All the best.